The House will be in order. The chair lays before the House a communication from the Speaker.
The Speaker's Rooms, Washington, D.C., July 20th, 2026. I hereby appoint the Honorable Virginia Fox to act as Speaker pro tempore on this day. Signed, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Pursuant to the order of the House of January 6, 2026, the chair will now recognize members from lists submitted by the majority and minority leaders for morning hour debate. The chair will alternate recognition between the parties with time equally allocated between the parties and each member other than the majority and minority leaders and the minority whip limited to 5 minutes. But in no event shall debate continue beyond 1:50 p.m. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Self, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to salute our service members of tomorrow, the Service Academy-bound students of the 3rd Congressional District of Texas. This district of Texas is home to some of the best and brightest young men and women, and it is always an honor to appoint these stellar student athletes to our nation's service academies. I am confident that they are ready to join the premier service academies and ultimately serve with the best in the United States military. This year, Texas 3rd District is going to send 7 cadets to the United States Military Academy, 5 midshipmen to the United States Naval Academy, 6 cadets to the United States Air Force Academy, 6 midshipmen to the United States Merchant Marine Academy, and 3 candidates to the United States Air Force Academy Preparatory School. To these 24 appointees and 3 preparatory candidates, I say, God bless you, God bless America, I salute you. I ask for unanimous consent for the 27 names and respective hometowns listed below to be entered into the congressional record, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Subramaniam.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to honor the life of Doug Graham, a remarkable photojournalist, storyteller, and friend to the people of our community in Northern Virginia. For nearly a decade at Loudoun Now, Doug helped our community see itself. He captured moments both ordinary and extraordinary, from parades and graduations to snowstorms and small acts of kindness. But Doug did more than just take photographs. He built trust. He asked good questions, and he listened. And even after his cancer diagnosis, Doug continued to tell his story with the same honesty and courage that defined his career. Around Loudoun, people often joke that if something was important and if it was happening in our community, Doug was already there to capture the moment. Doug was always in the room, and he will still be with us. We offer our deepest condolences to and gratitude to his wife, Dawn, his daughter, Lizzie, his friends, colleagues, and the entire Loudoun community. And we all thank Doug Graham for helping us see our community more clearly. May he rest in peace. Madam Speaker, I rise to honor the life of Satguru Dandapani. Satguru was a beloved husband, father, and community leader, and after finishing his studies in India, his career took him to Northern Virginia, where he served as an engineer at Visa. And he was well known and respected across DC, Virginia, and Maryland for his work with the Valuvan Tamil Academy. And as treasurer, Satguru poured his time and efforts into promoting and preserving Tamil language and culture. Satguru also had a deep love for music and was a strong supporter of local concerts. He organized events, coordinated programs, and helped families across our region. So many kids benefited from his work as well, and his work touched so many lives in our community. He will be deeply missed, and may he rest in peace. Madam Speaker, at this point, my community in Northern Virginia has so many data centers that if it were a country, it would be fourth among all countries in number of data centers. And there's actually many more, hundreds more potentially on the way. And Virginians, our community, have been paying the price for years now. The price is transmission lines going through homes, schools, and historic sites. The price is worse air quality, and the price is higher utility bills. But now people are fighting back. And we're winning, because last week the people of Prince William County spoke out and pushed back about a new massive data center complex spanning almost 750 football fields. That project was unanimously rejected, but the fight is not over. New transmission lines are being proposed to support the data center industry in Prince William County. Projects like the Nokesville-Bristow transmission line are threatening homes, small farms, and livelihoods. There is a better way. One way is to underground those lines, and the data centers need to pay for it, not the community. This will protect our farmland, our homes, and our schools, and it'll also set the tone that data centers and private companies cannot demand new energy infrastructure and then pass along those costs to the community. Because our communities have had enough of high utility costs, enough of transmission lines next to our schools and next to our homes, and enough of the noise, pollution, and loss of green space. If we work together, we can push companies to underground these lines and pay their fair share. But in the meantime, I join my community in saying enough is enough. Finally, Madam Speaker, I rise to congratulate the American Telugu Association on its 19th annual conference, the ATA Conference and Youth Convention. This year's conference is in Baltimore, bringing together leaders from across the country to celebrate Telugu heritage. And the conference recognizes all of ATA's achievements in the fields of science, business, technology, literature, and public service, as well as the arts, while showcasing live performances and Telugu culture. So I extend my congratulations to ATA, including its president, Jay Chella, and all of the organizers, and I wish everyone a successful and meaningful conference in Baltimore. Thank you, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Davidson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Last month, a small plane crashed into one of the tallest buildings in Beijing, China, during Friday rush hour. The pilot was killed and 13 people were injured. This happened in the center of a city with more than 20 million people. Thousands of people nearby saw the plane strike the building. People on the street heard the impact and recorded the aftermath. In the United States, an event like this would receive wall-to-wall coverage, and videos would be spread across social media within minutes. But in Beijing, the government made it nearly impossible for anyone who was not there to even know that it happened. Posts about the crash vanished from Chinese social media, and searches for the building returned only old results. Politics prevented people from taking pictures and ordered witnesses to delete footage, even though China's national broadcasting service sits across the street from the crash site. State media failed to inform the Chinese public about what happened. Because China's censorship apparatus links police surveillance with telecommunications networks, search engines, social media platforms, and state-controlled media, it allows authorities to identify and suppress information that could embarrass the Chinese Communist Party or undermine their preferred narratives with frightening efficiency. China has used these methods before. During the 2022 lockdown protests, videos disappeared from Huawei phones without warning, deleting their pictures and videos from their phones, and even preventing citizens from preserving or sharing what was happening. George Orwell warned about this sort of coercive power. Now this dystopian system is even more efficient and powerful with modern technology. Smartphones, search engines, surveillance cameras, government-controlled platforms. China has shown how effectively this machinery can erase the truth, and other governments are now creating such systems that could be used in the same ways. The European Union is building the legal and regulatory framework to control online speech, not just in the European Union, but across the West, trying to pressure platforms through their Digital Services Act, even in the United States. Regulators can pressure these platforms to remove or suppress content that conflicts with their official narratives on elections, public policy, or other political issues. Companies that resist can face penalties tied to their global revenue. giving governments enormous leverage over what people are allowed to see online. The United Kingdom has incorporated digital ID and is already jailing thousands of its citizens each year for disfavored speech. Well, in the United States, how could such a thing happen? We have the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment protecting speech, but it was already well underway when Elon Musk bought Twitter. The Biden administration was working to build a, quote, disinformation governance board to coordinate their rapidly expanding censorship operations. Orwell referred to this kind of apparatus as a ministry of truth. Unfortunately, Musk's ownership of Twitter only exposed the truth. That, and even a change of administration, has not halted the surveillance state here in America. Under the same guise of protecting kids used by the UK, the USA just passed a digital ID bill. Under the guise of banning central bank digital currency, the United States has effectively set a go-live date for CBDC in 2030. And under the old ruse of security and public safety, Palantir and Flock have an all-seeing eye network expanding around the country. These are just some of the tools used in China, and unfortunately, some of the same companies are using these same tools here in the United States and across Europe. As James Madison astutely noted in Federalist 51, quote, "If men were angels, no government would be necessary." Well, if men were angels, the Patriot Act, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, would have never been abused. But abuse was not only foreseeable, because men, even good men, are prone to abuse power, it happened. And if it were still happening, how would you know? These tools are very effective. The old maxim, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts, absolutely rings true. Around the world, technology is being turned against the citizens of each country by those in power. A comprehensive system of surveillance, coercion, and control is being built. If you cannot see it, it may already be too late. Freedom surrendered is rarely reclaimed. And with every vote and every dollar, this Congress, now is the time to insist that good governments defend freedom. I yield back.
The gentleman from Ohio yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Liccardo, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
Speaker, I rise today speaking on behalf of myself and on behalf of my colleagues, Representatives Zoe Lofgren, Ro Khanna, and Jimmy Panetta, to recognize Larry Stone, who retired a few months ago as Santa Clara County's longest-serving elected official. Larry has been an extraordinary public servant, an ethical role model, a mentor to many of us, and a friend to all. Larry served in elected office for 46 years. 30 as Santa Clara County's assessor. He made the most of his notorious role as tax leveler, humorously egging on everyone to boo him at every civic and political event. He even wore a Grinch costume for many years in our annual Santa run, sitting in the pace car with thousands of runners dressed up as Santas with beards on, chasing him through the streets of downtown San Jose. Larry's work was serious, however, as he leaves behind an assessor's office that has become a national model for efficiency, responsiveness, and trustworthiness. Larry's signature forthrightness made him the first phone call for local reporters looking for someone quotable. His willingness to call out malfeasance by the powerful makes him a reliable advocate for good government. His prescient political sense, gathering Silicon Valley support for everyone from his successor, Nisa Fligor, to a little-known Southerner by the name of Bill Clinton, made him a local kingmaker. In retirement, Larry and his much-beloved wife, Carmen, will continue to generously support local nonprofits and the arts. Larry's example, however, continues to inspire the next generation of leaders. On behalf of many, thank you, Larry, for your leadership, your mentorship, and your friendship. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor Arthur Herbert Hausman, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 102. Our nation owes Arthur a profound debt of gratitude for his lifetime of service. During World War II, Arthur served at Bletchley Park on Project Ultra, helping to decrypt enemy communications alongside Alan Turing and other legends of the era. Their work proved instrumental in securing the Allied victory in World War II. Arthur later served as an electronic scientist with the Department of Defense and helped lay the foundation for the National Security Agency. His groundbreaking work in cryptography, secure communications, and technological innovation left an indelible mark on our national security institutions and made us all safer. Yet Arthur's greatest legacy lives through his family and the community that he helped to build, including Congregation Beth Am and Los Altos Hills. His integrity, ingenuity, and patriotism will endure in the hearts of his children, his grandchildren, and in the hearts of a grateful nation. May his memory be a blessing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Gentleman from California yields. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Guam, Mr. Moylan, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to commemorate the 82nd anniversary of the liberation of Guam. On July 21st, 1944, American forces returned to Guam and liberated our island after nearly 3 years of Japanese occupation. For the Chamorro people and all who call Guam home, liberation marked the end of a period defined by fear and suffering. But today, I want to recognize the special courage of Guam's greatest generation. Throughout the occupation, there was one source of strength that united the people, their faith. When families were separated, they prayed. When food was scarce, they prayed. When they faced the uncertainty that tomorrow might never come, they prayed. Prayer became the act of hope. Many survivors have shared stories of praying the rosary together in secret, of gathering quietly with family, and of finding strength in Scripture. Those prayers sustained a people who refused to lose their humanity, even during one of the darkest chapters of Guam's history. These moments served as powerful reminder that while liberation was won through the ones who fought on the battlefield, many endured through the steadfast faith of those who never gave up hope at home. 82 years later, the people of Guam continued to carry forward the legacy. And we continue to pray for lasting peace, for the safety of the brave men and women who served our nation today, and for a world where future generations will never have to endure what Guam experienced during World War II. We commemorate this year's theme, Para y Honra, Para y Gloria, which means for her honor, for her glory. May God continue to watch over our beloved island of Guam and grant us the lasting peace for generations to come. Madam Speaker, I rise today to strongly denounce the end of birthright citizenship for the Territories Act. The author of this bill is quick to offer assurances that the bill explicitly carves out protection for the children born to U.S. citizens and permanent residents on Guam who will fully retain their American citizenship. They present this as a reasonable compromise, a harmless safeguard for our local families. But, Madam Speaker, do not mistake patronizing concession for respect. The cause does not ease the fundamental insult of this legislation. It merely exposes its hypocrisy. By including the very language, this body openly acknowledges that it is attempting to do in the territories what the Supreme Court just ruled it cannot constitutionally do in the 50 states. It exploits the fact that citizenship in Guam is governed by statute rather than full embrace of the 14th Amendment. It creates a dangerous and deeply insulting double standard. It signals to our community that the ground under our feet is lesser class of American soil. It says that while the state's borders are structurally protected from Washington legislative whims, the legal fabric of our island cannot be experimented on by federal mandates. Our citizenship was not handed to us by casual gift or a line item to be tinkered with. It was forged in the fires of World War II through the brutality of enemy occupation, where our people suffered, yet never once wavered in their alliance to the United States. We have repaid the honor by serving the United States Armed Forces, where our sons and daughters serve at a rate higher than nearly any jurisdiction in the nation. To tell a population that bears a great weight of defending this republic that Congress can selectively alter birthright citizenship on their soil is a profound sign of disrespect. It treats the sacred bond of our citizenship as a secondary status subject to political whims of Washington. We do not ask for constitutional handouts or patronizing exemptions. We ask for equality. We demand that the soil our veterans defended be treated with the exact same constitutional reverence as the 50 states. This bill fails the test of basic respect, and I urge my colleagues, reject this double standard and join me in denouncing this bill. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the chair declares the House in recess until 2 p.m. today.